In the last video, you got your web UI up and running and using the get function for EmojiJournal. Nice work! Now, let's add some functionality to our website to add a new journal entry right from the web. Make sure your server app is up and running like usual. We'll be working exclusively in home.stencil in this video, so you can just refresh your web browser to check if everything is working like it should. Given the card layout that you've gone with, you're going to add a card at the beginning that is for adding a new journal entry. You're going to be adding a web framework to this card as an emoji picker, so I will ask you to type a few things without going into painstaking detail about what they are, but I promise to make sure you know the purpose of everything you add. Go right above the for loop you wrote in your stencil file and add this HTML code, which will create a new static card at the beginning of the collection you are creating. This card will look different than the rest. The top should be a text field that allows you to add an emoji, and the rest of the card is a big plus sign, which you click whenever you have a new emoji to add. Also, notice the on-click Submit Form part of the input button you create. This is how you signal to your web app to add a new emoji entry. You'll work with this in just a minute. If you try to refresh your page after saving this file, you'll notice that, sure enough, the first card shows up, but there's no sign of an emoji picker anywhere. Go ahead and add some boilerplate script code to import what you need to make the emoji picker show up in that text field. You might notice that this is referring to some JavaScript code that's already there for you in your public directory in your app. Feel free to go take a look at what's there, so you can see what you're actually adding to your HTML template. The last thing you need to do is actually wire up your button click on the new card to a function to add an entry. To do this, you're going to write a JavaScript function that sends an HTTP request with a specific header to make sure that codable routing can handle the request. As of this filming, Kitura 2.3 has just come out that can handle this in an easier way, but we're going to show you how this works with Kitura version 2.2. Remember, you need to specify content type as application/JSON to make the routes you set up work here. Go below the HTML tag and add the function you need to write. Let's look at a couple of things you added to point them out. Remember the weird date you were sending in Postman during the early stages of this course? It gets weirder. JavaScript uses 1970 as a reference point for dates going across web service transport, and Apple uses 2001. As of right now, being able to send dates as ISO 8601 strings via codable routing is a work in progress. I know it's weird to see at first, believe me. Notice that the specific reason you wrote this function is right in the middle, the content type header. This is the most critical part of this function for working with this version of Kitura, or the whole thing won't work for you. Lastly, look at the body you create at the bottom. Just like the post request you send with Postman, you only need to send the emoji and the date. Isn't it ironic that the emoji just works, but the date needs to be configured? Save this file and refresh your browser. Click on the emoji icon that shows up in the first card and select an emoji. Click the plus button and voila! You can now add EmojiJournal entries with the web UI. In the penultimate video in this course, I'll give you a challenge. Can you smell what's coming? Yep, I'm going to challenge you to add the delete functionality in the web UI. See you there!